Hey there, beautiful souls. I'm Stacy DeWitt. I made this video to talk about what is holding you back from living the life of your dreams. If you're not waking up feeling inspired, energized, having some passion, feeling like you are contributing to the world in some way, then whatever you're doing with your day, whether it's a job, a career, a business, taking care of others, and then something's missing. And after years, for me, living my life over so many years and doing so many different things, coming to a place where I feel like there's nothing more important than waking up and feeling like I have a purpose. I got to the point where living my life on automatic pilot, where there's not really much thinking or awareness really about what am I doing? Does it have meaning? And even asking, is this what I really want to be doing? We get into such a habit. We are totally creatures of habit. But my passion is to help people shift from a place of stuckness, unhappiness, overwhelm, and create. And I say create because it won't randomly just happen to you. It has to happen by you, and you're not alone. And that's why I love working with people, because we don't know how to do it alone. We absolutely don't know how. And patterns, long-standing patterns, are not easy to change, but it doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to take a really long time. There's many things that are required, right? We have to be ready, and sometimes being ready doesn't happen until we're so fed up. So I'll give a brief example. I probably have given in another video, but getting fed up led me to leave a job that I absolutely pretty much despised, where I didn't get to do what lit me up. It was just stressful and having to follow rules. I had no freedom in my schedule. I felt overworked, underpaid, all the typical things. And I didn't leave until there was this thing they required me to do that every part of me was like, there's no way I can do that. It was like a training thing. And I couldn't see myself doing it. I couldn't imagine going through those steps. It went against all of who I was. Not that it was a terrible thing about the training, but it wasn't for me. And it wasn't how I wanted to work with people. So that was it for me. But it took me years from the time I knew I wanted to get out of that job to start doing my own thing, opening up my own business, helping people. And it was so painful. And I would talk to people who had taken the leap before I did. And they kept telling me, you can do this. You'll be successful. You'll have the referrals. And there's no easy way to do that. And there's always going to be uncertainty. And I just wasn't a risk taker. And I just couldn't get myself to do it. It's like it wouldn't have taken much. I'd done all the research. I already had opened up the business. So I had a part-time, private practice going. But without knowing for sure, you can't know for sure. And so I was just playing it safe, being in the misery. And then, like I said, I got so fed up, I couldn't do it anymore. And so one of my areas of interest in helping people now is helping them take the leap. But it doesn't have to be a leap, but at some point, right, it's going to be. But wherever you're at, if you're contemplating changing up where you spend your time, whether it could be a hobby, it might be actual work that you do to earn an income. Maybe it's like a side hustle. And side hustles, that's kind of a nice way to get your feet wet. Because we're all in different stages, different phases. And you don't have to take a bigger leap than you're ready for. I'm not saying that. But at some point, if you know you are meant to do so much more, you have gifts, talents, abilities, Maybe you have a sense of what those are. Maybe you feel really connected to what those are, and you just are having trouble with the steps because it's really an internal process. A lot of the time, what happens, and this may or may not be something you've heard of, but there's like the masculine energy and then the feminine. And so, masculine is just go do it. And feminine is more like the processing and internal, and they're two different energies, and we need both of them. And for a long time, I was in that, like, just the feminine of like just working on myself and just trying to get connected and look at what my blocks were and my fears and getting support, working with coaches in the past, even working with therapists, and really trying to build my self-confidence and trust in myself to make the decision, to finally go for it. But at some point, we have to take actual action. And I was waiting to feel comfortable. It's not going to feel comfortable because your brain isn't going to like it. It's like it wants to keep you in the familiar so that you stay safe. And the nervous system, right, all the anxiety and the fear, it starts to ramp up. There's also an aspect of that can be excitement. So I love to help people connect with their passion, to stop focusing on what isn't going well in your day-to-day life, how you don't like this and you're miserable about that and you're stressed about this other thing. And we need to validate that. But then we want to look at what would it be like to be living your dream life? What would it look like? How would you feel? What would you be like? What's your why, right? You might have heard of that, your big why. It's really, really, really important. So if this sounds appealing to you, I invite you to apply to see if I'd be a good fit, if you're a good fit for me, and just a free consultation to talk about, where you're at, what you're looking for, what have you done up to this point in your journey. And it is a journey. And I love working with sensitive, heart-centered women who are inspired, they're ready for change, but they need a guide. I see myself as a guide. I have really cool tools that I teach, some of which you can see on this channel. I'll be making more, the tapping and the heart-centered. And along with my training and background as a mental health therapist, and now I'm a spiritual transformational coach, want to help people, be their authentic self, show up in the world as the real you, and working on your mindset. Because we've got to get out of the mind, get connected with your heart, your intuition, and even the higher wisdom that's all around us. If you believe in guides or angels or God, whatever it is for you, I just like to call it universe. Because when we get out of our head and we get calm and grounded, it's amazing what ideas will come in. Is your mind only knows where you are now and where you've been in the past. And yep, you can get online and research stuff. That's super helpful. That I do that always when I'm looking at something for the first time and when I have questions. And then I just pause and get grounded. And I no longer make decisions from my mind and the pros and the cons and what's logical. Logic has never, for me, contributed to really being fulfilled, living connected with my passion. It's just, it can be logical, but the decision for me nowadays is like, it's got to come from my higher knowing. And sometimes it won't feel logical. And it might even tell you, it's time. It's time to go do this thing. And I'm not talking about acting completely impulsively either. Takes some practice, and then you'll know. You will just know. And if you want a guide for this journey, I'd be happy to speak with you. So I'll be creating a form. You can reach out in the meantime. You can email me at stacy@stacydewittcoaching.com. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.